As we all know, the fund itself, has raised capital from private investors. Capital calls are made, investments are made, expenses, income run through the fund, and perhaps other sidebar, parallel funds that they're operating on, for co-investments. So how is all that tracked? It's all managed through the general ledger. So that's the accounting platform. If you're working, the question is oftentimes asked, who's the keeper of record? Like if you're out fundraising, etc. Are you in-house? If so, what accounting platform are you on? Working with a group like Standish, depending on what the needs are, we manage that side. And there's an old term that's used. It's called bookkeeping. It's integral to everything that's going on because it's building out of the general ledger, the debits and credits, tracking all the information. And from there, as you're booking those entries, doing the monthly reconciliations, tracking the loan servicing, if it's a mezzanine debt type fund, you're building a rather robust amount of financial information that is housed in that software accounting platform itself. If you go back to the governing documents, you're supposed to provide whatever is in the limited partnership agreement. That's effectively the contract between the GP and the LPs. And specified in there by our trustee attorneys basically is the minimum level, a balance sheet, income statement, statement of cash flows, statement of investments. So at one point, that's what was reported. You get assets, liabilities, just basically, accounting or finance 101, and then a little bit of detail, listing, name, address, amount of investment, where it was located, what the fair market value mark is on that. And that's what's audited by your auditors at the end of the year. So, it's done, quarter over quarter. Typically, there are some funds that may only be reporting on a semi-annual type basis, but from there, it's really increased over time. So even though the contract may show that's the information that's required, the investors need to and want to know more. Think of it, it's a dance. It's an intro. You do your, PPM. You're working up with whoever your law firm, fund formation attorney is, your documents. And so maybe this is more beneficial for everyone, for you too, as well, is that I've done fund one, I've done fund two, I've done well. I've had, good upper, top quartile returns, and I've been out of the market for 3 or 4 years. You might have missed something in the middle. It's just like the technology. If your computer is 4 years old, it runs fine. Everyone will snicker. Just wait till you try to do one of these sessions here. You better have a brand new, spec'd out computer. Okay, so I've done great. My investors have been happy with me. I'm talking to them, and they say, "Yeah, we love you guys. We want to invest. I want to write you a check for $10, $20 million." However, you hear the however. It's like we have, at this point, now that it's a new fund, we need you to adopt certain reporting requirements. And so, many successful people are now, I'm in dialogue with a number of them that are seeing this for the first time. As far as trying to come up with the equivalent of like, this is GAAP standard, or this is the ILPA adopted methodology. I think that, like anything along these lines, it's going to be an ongoing morphing. It's an evolutionary process. I'll give it 2 years where I think everyone is going to be pretty well standardized. What I mean by that, it'll be the questions from the LPs. It's going to be the presentations going out to the for the prospective investors. That's all going to be pretty well slick wrapped and speaking to all the pain points, all the hot topics. But it's going to always change. It's going to always be moving forward. So software developers, make sure that you can be fluent and expansive. There are SEC compliance groups, throughout the country that will work with you, in lieu of the CFO, to help build everything that's required for SEC compliance. ESG, same thing. I'm not here to give recommendations to anyone, particular in that space, but if you look for them, you can find them. So the key thing is of course finding the one that works, potentially best for you. And keep in mind, you know, as you're going through stuff like this, that if it's your first time diving into it, I think the best place to go is either to your prior investors, your former partners, or people you've done co-investing with that might be a step ahead of you. If they're in fundraising or they just closed the fund, it's best to find out from the people that have just walked up that hill.